Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scandal, we can't buy time. You can't fool me again. Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch up line and a resort to crime. You can't fool me again.
What fi go to eat no money, what fi at you, eat no at you. Covid money, me say we eat the yellow rat you. Use the youth, them on the base, for must have man statue. Say me like a cashew, but me got in a figure you. Take the spit of money, God and say that is not you. One day the man above him, look him, I got up. Too much eat in the kitchen, some a fly by like a patu. When singers and DJs and social media's coming at you.
It burn me,
300% raise.
it burn me,
Garbage pile up the day.
it burn me,
Give the teacher them
it
raise.
burn me,
I see corruption
it
cease.
burn me,
Mash down the people them house.
it burn me,
Every day appear arms out.
it burn me,
Appear money them a thief.
it burn me.
And them a sell out the beach.
Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scandal, we can't buy time. You can't fool me again. Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch up line and a resort to crime. You can't fool me again.
Come me say big up all the charities and all of the givers. Some a go like say them powerful, me no make a bigger. The 100 the promises, none of them not deliver. Cut up the youth, they rap and they down in our river. Member bowl only and they lie them tell. Corruption smell and they pocket them swell. When police don't a market like Satan out of hell, go mash up people start like thief when them sell.
It burn me,
Or they treat the market man.
it burn me,
Or them a treat the cat man.
it burn me,
Or they treat the peanut man.
it burn me,
Or them a treat the dirt man.
it burn me,
Or them a treat the soul man.
it burn me,
Or them a treat policeman.
it burn me,
How them a treat soldier man.
it burn me.
How them a treat everyone.
Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scandal, we can't buy time. You can't fool me again. Can't.
Stibbidim day, stibbidim day, stibbidim day. We in Global TV says certain kind of friend we no cape. And some informer friend we love like. We in Global, bona fake friend and bona tape. We in Global, we not promote them, we not support them. Look at them on the cheek, come here represent for. We in Global TV, check it.
Good morning, good morning. It is Sunday, the 17th of November. The year soon finish. Welcome to the Global Television Group. We normally take a break from our weekend to come out here because there's a brilliant interview I want to bring you this morning. Another brilliant conversation yesterday with Colin Bell and Jamaica Chief Financial Analyst Ralston Hyman. And we're also going to look at some issues on the international scene. Of course, the well-hated President Trump will come up this morning. To my community of party and all my family members, platform moderators, membership holders, viewers, subscribers, commenters, and trolls, good morning. Good morning to everyone on TikTok. Good morning to everyone on YouTube. Jay Frost, good morning. Not Frost, Jay Ross, rather, on TikTok. Thank you very much. Good morning and welcome. Good morning, Dorothy Elliott, Monica Wills, Rosemary Samuels, Veteran, Willie Dunn, Beat and Teach, Jason Kane, Keith Solomon, EM. Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Just an announcement to keep you all updated, particularly those who hold membership on the Producer Wayne channel. Sharon Bernard, how are you? I hope YouTube can allow me to say this without penalizing me. I think I'm being harassed by YouTube. I successfully got my monetization back yesterday, but this has happened to me twice in 5 weeks. Twice. The first, they threatened me to suspend my monetization unless I do an appeal. I did the appeal within 24 hours. That threat was lifted. And in that video, they said to me, keep this video on your channel so when we review your channel again, we can refer to that video. However, they bypassed that. This one, they accepted as well and give me a positive result in less than 24 hours. The issue though, before that, them warned me because the other channels are monetized as well, some to a different degree. But what they carefully did in that email was warn me, do not divert your viewers to your other monetization platform. Do not encourage them to support the monetization on those platforms. Otherwise, you can lose your platforms. So I just think YouTube is harassing me. I don't know why, but however, press along, Saints YouTube. Press along. This morning, we are going to look at a few issues. But I want to ask Prime Minister Andrew Holness, you know, shame, sir? Sir, aren't you ashamed, Andrew Holness, Prime Minister of Jamaica? I mean, with a shame to, you know. Because, say Prime Minister, the universities in Jamaica see it necessary to pick up honorary doctorate and give to Chink, Matt, Hag, and Dog, Prime Minister. Ask yourself the question, why none of the universities in Jamaica wants to give Prime Minister Andrew Holness an honorary degree? In Prime Minister, money enough? Money enough, Minister. Sean Paul has been given an honorary doctorate by, I think, one of the University of Jamaica. However, my question is though, Prime Minister, why you can't get one? Why you can't get one from the institutions within your country? That's you and UWI and CG, what's your name? Getting a fracas. So no throw them out of building at Washington. And them go get one for your Delaware state. Marcia B. Them go get one for your Delaware state, but nobody in Jamaica don't see it necessary to honor your Prime Minister. Why is that? Is it because they don't view you as one who have done anything to hold those accolades from a university? One have to ask the question, Prime Minister, because everybody I walk and get honorary doctorate from Jamaica universities. And you the best Prime Minister since sliced bread, so you can't get one. That's you have to go all the way foreign. Jamaica University for study, you have to go all the way foreign. What is it with you and Jamaica universities? I wonder if I told them no, say you're done some thief and corrupt, sir. Why they don't want to honor you? There is a reason why none of these universities don't want to honor you. It have to be, Prime Minister. It really have to be. But everybody I get a little honor, so, sir, and you don't get none, turn bad. Where do we go next? Let's go to Trump next. Trump said something which probably irritates a lot of people. Certainly don't irritate me. I tend to understand why he's doing it. I support why he's doing it. But don't listen to President Trump, the racist. as he is seen to be. Don't listen to President Trump, the misogynist. Don't listen to President Trump, the madman. But listen to the policy. Listen to the policy and tell me if me mad. But after it's played, I'll tell you why I support the policy.
Temporary policy shift, one that aims to encourage Nigerians, especially those in critical professions, to stay, invest, and work in their homeland. As part of this policy, the U.S. will limit certain visa approvals for Nigerian professionals, including doctors, nurses, engineers, and others in essential fields. This is not a move taken lightly, nor is it meant to deter genuine cultural exchange or partnerships between our nations. Instead, this is a call to action for Nigerians to dedicate their skills to the advancement of Nigeria itself. I believe that the future of a strong, independent, and prosperous Nigeria relies on its citizens and its workforce being invested and building that future from within. For Nigeria to become the world leader it has the potential to be, it needs its doctors in its hospitals, its engineers on its infrastructure projects, its teachers in its classrooms, and its entrepreneurs in its economy. We want to see Nigeria flourish as a pillar of stability and progress in Africa, and we will do our part to support initiatives that foster this development. This decision was made with the utmost respect for the Nigerian people and with a genuine desire to see Nigeria succeed on its own terms. We're confident that this policy will serve as a stepping stone toward that brighter future. To all Nigerians, we admire you, we value you, and we look forward to building a stronger partnership with a stronger Nigeria. Thank you.
Dorothy Elliott, that's one of the problems with YouTube. You see, they communicate very vaguely and they're very strict and sometimes sound even bitter. Right. Touch morning. Some people will automatically go straight to President Trump's policy, stance on immigration, rather than, in my view, actually look at what I call a protectionist president. A president who wants to see America do well, but a president who wants other countries to, one, run their affairs and develop. I said this also in President Trump's first term, that a lot of our leaders in Africa and the Caribbean missed an opportunity to advance because of how the American hegemonic system works. Thank you, Sandra Ellis. Because of how the American hegemonic system works, America have a foreign policy which their usual president outside of Trump meddles a lot in the backdoor deal affairs of a lot of these countries, especially countries in Africa and the Caribbean, which have a lot of rich resources. As well as, since World War II, we built them in slavery, but I'm speaking now after World War II. We've built the whole Western Hemisphere, or human resources, or natural resources. We build the Western Hemisphere. The issue, though, since after World War II, immigration is being used to rebuild the West to the detriment of Africa and the Caribbean, its people and its resources. Cousin Myrna Wagwan. The brain drain that we continuously speak about every day is what this very policy that President Trump speaks to. A lot of people will listen to this and straight think of the racist immigration, build the wall, hating President Trump. But I don't see it that way. President Trump is saying Nigeria can be a world leader. Nigeria can be Africa's top economy that changes the economic landscape in Africa. What President Trump is saying, if the doctors, the engineer, the scientists, and all of these people continue to drain out of Nigeria to build America on the West, but particular America now, Nigeria will never achieve its potential. I agree with President Trump on this. It is the reason why we cannot grow as post colonial countries, because we think the best thing for us is a visa to go to the West. But here we are in the West, and we are the most disgruntled as how our country, our economy is run back home. So I would appeal to people, when you're listening to this, don't view it as racist President Trump. Don't view it as Trump immigration policy, but view it as Trump. Trump once went to Africa and he told these leaders there, I don't understand how you all come here within years, they become billionaires. They set up shop and become billionaires. Trump knew as a businessman, Africa, particularly Nigeria, but the entire Africa is full of potentials. What Trump is saying, if the brain see its true potential, Nigeria never get to develop, qualify. Freeze the state. My people, bear with, it has knocked me out of the studio, but I quickly jump in on my phone. I will quickly go back in the studio and set up today. I don't know what is wrong with StreamYard. It gone back to the same old nonsense it was doing with you. Bear with me until I get back into the studio on my computer so I can get all my contents rearranged and put back in. Boy, StreamYard is really messing around with us after taking hundreds from us. After taking hundreds from us, StreamYard continuously mess with us. But I hope you can hear me well on the phone. I hope you can hear me well on the phone. Give me a signal in the comment area that you can hear me well. I'm working on this madness to come back into the studio. Oh my God. This is madness. StreamYard regularly does this. And people, StreamYard, you're all aware, StreamYard is not cheap to use. It really isn't. We get a warm time. Thanks. You're all hearing me. Me just try set up things to come back into the studio. Hold on there. Come off of the phone. I'm coming at this. Right. Bear with, please. Bear with. Bear with. Because we're going to go to another international issue now. And this concerns the entire world, on the cruel British, the land-grabbing British, the barbaric bloodbath, baby-eating British. Yes. The rest of the world, the echo was because I was switching over from my, let me check the mic, because the system, okay, the mic is fine. The echo was when I was switching over from phone to, what's you call it? Right, let me get my videos back in studio quickly. Yes, this was a video I should have played to the follow-up of another of President Trump policy. And this was one of the policy that a lot of people in the migrant community, such as the Muslim votes, the Black votes, the Latino votes, this particular policy was why a lot of these people switched from Kamala and went to Trump, Raymond G. So while I play this video for you, while I am putting back the others in the studio.
Agree with Donald Trump. No more than no. Me need tears. Me need some tears. Me need tears. Help me. Me need tears. Me need tears in my eye when me attack that one. Me need tears. Imagine you send your picnic to school. Your good boy picnic. And him come home. I'm dad. I'm not a boy. I am a girl. And you have to be okay with that. Because you will get in a trouble. Your own picnic, you know. Make I take off this. Your own child. Come home, I tell you, I don't want to be a girl no more. I am a boy. And you have to accept that. Now you send your picnic to daycare. And your picnic start playing with Dolly as a boy. And you can't tell the daycare them to don't make your picnic play with Dolly. Now you can. Yes. Now you can. Donald Trump said he's removing all of that. And who know the teacher them? What did the teacher picnic them wrong? I got brought up on charges, not the parents them. So parents get a hold of your picnic them back. Your boy picnic is a boy, not a girl. Your girl picnic is a girl, not a boy. Get hold of your picnic them back, God damn it. Yes.
Right. That was one of the reasons why Kamala Harris, HTK on TikTok, good morning, welcome, thank you. This was one of the reasons why Kamala lost the election. Everything they were advancing was death, abortion wholesale, queer and transgenderism wholesale, bomb dropping wholesale. Those were the reason why they lost. But let's move to another international issue. And as I said, I want to speak about all of us, the rest of the world, and the baby-eating, blood-bathing, land-grabbing, resource-nyamming British. Why is my slide? This is not what I want. This is what I want. The resource-nyamming, blood-bathing, barbaric British, and the rest of the world. But this time, it is the indigenous of New Zealand, the Maori people, and the British. The treaty, the Watangi Treaty between the British and the indigenous New Zealand, is the founding document for the governance of the country. It is said, though, as you know, the British are very convoluted from then to now. In the two different translations, there's difference within the two translations, and that causes governance issue within the country of a matter of interpretation. So the British carry out a constitutional review, some constitutional changes, which comes at a disadvantage to the New Zealanders, the indigenous people, the Maori. And the young Hannah on screen here led a rebellion in the New Zealand Parliament. I hope the People's National Party is watching, because it is making the rounds worldwide. This young lady first performed this, people call it the haka dance, but it's more for me as a cultural expression, because it's performed for a lot of different things: wedding, graduation, for resilience and everything. It is said that the Maori people used to perform that also, that mantra also, before they go to battle with the cruel British. The first time she did the haka was when that made the rounds, was when she was first elected to Parliament at the age of 20. And we'll play that for you, compare to the rebellious stance she took over the weekend.
Tēnara tātou e te whare. Kangau ki mokau, kangau ki tamaki, karu te whenua kamate te marama kataka ngā whetu I te rangi ka ara waikato I te rua au e ha,
This performance was her maiden speech when she first entered Parliament. This was an expression of pride using the same haka ritual. What you're going to see now is an expression of defiance with the same ritual, but look at the different body language when they're using it in defiance of what was happening in Parliament.
The House is The House is suspended until the ringing of the bells. The gallery is to be cleared.
Is the People's National Party aware of the powerful message resonated around the world with such rebellion? Are the young people of Jamaica realizing that this is a 22-year-old woman who have led a rebellion in the Parliament of New Zealand? This tells us that we are sleeping. As a people, as a nation, do we have a mantra if we should go out against our government at the moment? Do we have a cultural expression? Do we have a cultural expression to confront our leaders? Do we have any powerful amongst us to call the people to action like we see her calling the indigenous people of New Zealand to action? Did you see the response? They did not hesitate to stand with her. The tearing of the document was the most defiant action. The tearing of the document and throwing it was the most defiant action. Or politicians, or politicians, because our Maroons don't have have seat in our parliament, but the indigenous of New Zealand have seats within the parliament. She's one of the youngest from the Maori community. I wonder if our opposition politicians and our young people are watching that we are the only ones that are still sleeping.
When you're accustomed to privilege, equality feels like oppression. That, Mr. Speaker, is what is behind this bill. Its architect tells us that this is about equality, but we do not have equality in this country. Pick almost any statistic that you like. Housing, incarceration, health, life expectancy. Māori get unfair and unequal outcomes because of unfair and unequal treatment, which started with the Crown's intentional, violent actions to dishonour Te Tiriti o Waitangi. But, Mr. Speaker, this is not just about Māori. This is about...
In this debate that has been advanced, the Maroons of Jamaica have been saying this, and we must listen carefully, because the people of New Zealand are saying it as well. If the treaty ought to be changed, the King of England, who the treaty was signed with, ought to be involved. It ought to be a changes with the British and the Maori people. Just like what the Maroons in Jamaica are saying. If the Constitution if there's any changes to be done with the treaty would have to be negotiated with the British.
All of us. Te Tiriti is why and how each of us are on this whenua. It tells us so much about who we are, how we got here, and where we go if we treat each other and our planet well, if we are good treaty partners. Capitalism. That is an economic system with the key priority to turn profit at almost any cost, needs colonization. This insatiable, unsustainable economic system needs to assimilate and acquire new frontiers to exploit. It needs to turn every citizen into a consumer and to commodify our natural world. And right now, in this country, the biggest thing standing in its way is the resilience and the fire and the enduring movement for mana motuhake. Mr. Speaker, when Te Tiriti was signed, Māori outnumbered Pākehā 40-1. Can you imagine a small group of people coming to this country, signing an agreement to look after themselves in orderly cohabitation, then instead...
That's what the British does in every of those treaties they signed when they were leaving the colony. The treaty was written to the advantage of the British. And this is why we end up in this continuous calamity that these puppet politicians that are trained in the West and are enforced upon us, or some like Andrew Holness, which is clear employee of the CIA, just like Edward Seaga was. All of these treaties, and this is what causing the problem now, because people are waking up and see that the treaty was done at an advantage to the British, or in a convoluted way that trick the indigenous people.
Taking our land and our language. Well, that is the abridged history of Aotearoa New Zealand. That is what the British Crown did in establishing this Parliament and its institutions. The legacy of that violent oppression, theft and colonisation and the breach of Te Tiriti o Waitangi is represented in today's deeply unequal and unfair statistics. In people's lives, Mr. Speaker, Pākehā mā, Tauiwi mā, we have been told for almost all of our lives that Māori sovereignty is something to be afraid of. Who has been telling you that? Who benefits and who pays the price? The discomfort that you feel, that I once felt, is an invitation to listen, to learn, to understand, and to honour. Te Tiriti o Waitangi is a gift. It is a blueprint of an Aotearoa that respects people and planet. It is the antidote to the exhaustion and the disenfranchisement that I know profoundly is felt in communities across this country right now. Now, some politicians will tell you that we just need a clean slate to the past.
And I want to say to young Jamaicans, and I want to say to our opposition, this is what rebellions and defiance looks like. The fear that we have conjured up, Violet Watson, Verna Adams, RJ, Raymond G. The fear that we have conjured up, Robert Honeywell, is what allows crooked politicians like Andrew Holness to continue to lie to us every day And now we're going to move on to the brilliant interview that was done yesterday with Ralston Hyman and Colin Bell. Because the Prime Minister regularly tells us about how great the economy is. Take out on a pen and paper, because when I have a lot of things to write down, given a time to take out on a pen and a paper, because Ralston Hyman is going to give you information. But before we go to Ralston Hyman, let's listen in to a few sentences from this gentleman while I'm getting a pen and paper out to write down the things that Ralston Hyman wants to figure read to verify for yourself that every time Andrew Holness opens his mouth about the economy, the Prime Minister is lying.
I want you to watch this video with an intent to understand. We keep hearing all these talks about the Jamaican economy and how good it is and how it's booming and it's in the best place it has ever been. But let me ask these few questions. How do we have a booming economy with a rapidly declining currency? How do we have a booming economy with such a large trade deficit? How do we have a booming economy when we do not export anything? We are not manufacturing anything. How do we have a booming economy when all we do is consume? We never sell. In order for a GDP to make sense, we must be selling stuff. We must be selling stuff. We are consumers. We are not sellers. We are not providers. So how do you tell me that we have a booming economy when all the elements that are supposed to be combined to create a booming economy are working against us? How do we have a booming economy when salaries in comparison to living expenses are a disgrace? But yet you speak to us as though the Jamaican populace are brainless people, all dunce, people without a mind, people without critical thinking skills. In order for any economy, and this is according to economics, to be successful, we must have a good GDP. Where is the Jamaican GDP? What are we selling? What are we producing? What are we exporting? In case you didn't know, as a Jamaican listening, our greatest provider of revenues outside of the slave plantations is remittances. People in the diaspora that sends money back to Jamaica. That is what is keeping our economy. Most of these people you see dressing up going to work every day, they are supplementing their income with the remittances that they receive from overseas. Do not think many of these people are actually surviving merely from their income. No. These incomes are bus fares income, taxi fare income, lunch money income. They are supplementing these income with the remittances that families and loved ones overseas send to them. Then, if we are doing so well economically, why is it that the government must expend millions of dollars in the US to combat the rapid decline in the Jamaican currency? Why? You're saving face. When you use all this money to offset the decline in the Jamaican currency, this is just a temporary fix because the decline continues. How do you tell us that we have a good economy when our currency constantly slides downwards? And you act as if we have no brains. My Jamaican people, do not allow the political campaigns to cloud your minds with all these trickery, with all these plots that they have to deceive you. Wake up.
I cannot explain the economic front of things to you. This is why I have to bring these men. I think it's Dr. Led. This is why I have to bring these minds that understand where Jamaica is currently and the trajectory of Jamaica based on what Nigel Clark and Andrew Holness has done to the economy, even though they would have the whole world believe, even though the Financial Times helped them to spread the propaganda, even though the Miami Herald helped them to advance the propaganda of what a great economy Jamaica has and how great Nigel Clark is for turning around the Jamaican economy. Master, how are you, Lawrence? I hope I'm not having a pen and a paper out because Ralston Hyman is going to tell you where to find things to read to prove that the Prime Minister is lying. The institutions are saying something completely different from what Andrew Holness or Nigel Clark is saying to us whenever time them open them mouth. But let's listen to Colin Bell for a while. This is a brilliant piece of interview, and credit to Colin Bell and from Portland Spice TV and Ralston Hyman, Jamaica Chief Financial Analyst.
Good morning, caller.
Dr. Sutherland, morning.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Professor Hyman, big up yourself.
Yes, sir. Morning.
No, Ralston, there's a number of things I wanted to talk to you about this morning, but it don't look possible. But here what happened now.
5 minutes.
Right, here what happened. I believe there are two things that we need to do in Jamaica to grow the economy. And I think this government just squandered $11 billion.
The unstoppable one on TikTok.
11 that could have gotten us on our way. Because my suggestion, Ralston, is that 11 have been a loan to farmers at 1 or 2%.
Precisely. Better use of the money than
make it easy for farmers to get it at 1 or 2%, and even approach farmers. People are doing fish rearing right now. I'm gonna raise 2,000 fish. Bring him up to 200,000.
Me turn it right up, beat and teach. The lowness is on Colin N.
Yeah, I'm gonna 50 goat because you see now that this man is interested.
Yes.
Give him some land, get him the loan, and bring him up to 1,000 goat.
Yep.
Yeah, you understand? Instead of we give away the $11.4 billion to go buy foreign food. Michael Phillips said this morning, the government is bankrupt of ideas. The orange economy, Ralston, is the only industry right now in Jamaica that within a one-term period of any government can turn this economy around. I try to explain to people, and I give people a little more meat on the bone now that we're getting close to an election. The film industry, Ralston, film is like, all right, like a man I make seasoning for sell. You must package it in a bucket. Film is the package for Jamaica's culture and the talent that we have so as to export it. Now it needs one more critical ingredient. How you're going to export it. And that is where Jamaica needs to be looking so as to grow the economy, because we can't continue to borrow from Peter to pay Paul. That's not growing no economy. So the agriculture industry to cut the food importation bill and to shore up food security, because COVID taught us something, but this government never learned it, that at any time importation can be a major problem.
And we're in that phase in the globe right now. You'll see more of those things happening right now.
There you go. And we not try produce. The government is not getting involved in production, and they're running around and talking about the economy is doing good. Yeah, the fiscal side is doing good with maintaining the discipline that was set into law by the last PNP administration. So it's not like them do something that them could have do different. The only thing is that them paying on the loan faster. That is destroying our infrastructure. And then the Prime Minister now is blaming the opposition. But I say to my people, anytime a government start blame the opposition for their shortcoming, it means that they don't know what else to do. Exactly. They are out of ideas, and time come for a new direction. Time come for change, Ralston. But Jamaica don't have to be so poor.
No.
We have, God has given us all that we need, to make it out there, Mexico Ralston is earning 15 billion US a year from the culture and the creative industry. You know, what is happening to us? I like the idea of Babsy putting together this insurance for creatives, but where the rest of the money going to come from, Ralston? Because that's something I need to hear from you. This $50 million, it is a one-time payment, or the government going to pump 50 million into it every year?
Well, see, never said.
Yeah.
We need to know.
The idea is brilliant, but I don't think it has been worked out properly.
Yes.
And
It's a brilliant political move like the 11.4 billion. So we need
I think it's a political move. I think it's a slush fund to buy a vote for the next election.
Because the entertainers, what happens is that the entertainers are very popular, and they are seeing that some entertainers are more gravitating towards a particular side. So they're trying to get some of them to come back over the other side.
Because I told people in Ralston that when they were talking about cartel at the PNP conference, I told people it was bad mind, Me come out straight away and tell it, don't worry about it, it's simply bad mind on behalf of the GLP. You see Vibes Cartel in the picture with Babsy Grange now?
Yeah.
So he's not a criminal again.
This is the thing. Remember that one particular presidential candidate pulled out all of the entertainers and still lost. Remember that?
Yeah.
There you go. But
because the people are voting on the issues that affect them, the bread and butter, the road, the hospital bed, them not available.
Right? And the amount of foreign exchange, you and I, because Mexico Ralston is earning 15 billion US a year from the culture and the creative industry. What is happening to us? I like the idea of Babsy putting together this insurance for creatives, but where the rest of the money going to come from, Ralston? Because that's something I need to hear from you. This $50 million, it is a one-time payment, or the government going to pump 50 million into it every year?
Well, she never said.
Yeah.
We need to know.
The idea is brilliant, but I don't think it has been worked out properly.
Yes. And a brilliant political move like 11.4 billion. So we need
I think it's a political move. I think it's a slush fund to buy a vote for the next election.
Because the entertainers, what happens is that the entertainers are very popular, and they are seeing that some entertainers are more gravitating towards a particular side. So what they are trying to do is to get some of them to come back over the other side.
Because I told people in Ralston that when they were talking about cartel at the PNP conference, I told people it was bad mind, Me come out straight away and tell it, don't worry about it, it's simply bad mind on behalf of the GLP. You see Vibes Cartel in the picture with Babsy Grange now?
Yeah.
So he's not a criminal again.
This is the thing. Well, remember that one particular presidential candidate pulled out all of the entertainers and still lost. Remember that?
Yeah.
There you go. But
because the people are voting on the issues that affect them, the bread and butter, the road.
Morning, my people. Good morning and welcome. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the ways of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful, but his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law do we meditate day and night. For we shall be like trees planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth fruit in our season. Our leaves shall not wither, and whatsoever we do shall prosper. Morning, welcome to Portland Spice TV. Happy to have you, my people. Share up the channel now. Call some people.
Make sure you have a
this
pen
morning.
I don't need to write down where else and tell
school morning. And it's not a lecture. It's school simplifying the matters. So we're going to be talking to Ralston Iman this morning. Yeah, man, my general. We'll talk to him this morning. Because we have to keep you updated, on what is happening.
Take out to the pen on a paper. Andrew go see how we are lying.
It up.
We don't need to go read for yourself.
People who are spewing lies and spreading propagandas. We can't do that. So we have to ensure that we put it out there, lay it on the table, so that the people can understand what is happening in Jamaica, where we are. Because I put out the ad and I said Jamaica economy is in trouble. And a lot of people behave like it's a gouting. We are saying to them that it is not a gouting. It's not a gouting. The truth is, some things are happening. So you can't go say nothing not happen. That would not be true.
Follow the instruction
things are
above my
happening.
head, my people.
But for the thing to be good, it needs a number of things to happen. It's not just one thing. I can make it good. It's a number of things. And where we are as a country, we basically suffering some ills. Yeah, we're suffering some ills. And trouble there. Trouble there. But some people don't want us to agree that there's trouble.
My thing is, and I've said this before, when the People's National Party comes to power, they are going to realize that the piggy bank of the country is flattened. And then everybody are going to blame PMP, say, they mash up the economy. Same thing like how Siaga did with the loose regulation and then the economic collapse, and FinSac have to come buttress it and all that. It's the same similar thing that is going on. But let the interview go on.
They want to tell us that everything is all right. And we know that everything not all right. So it is our responsibility as the fourth estate, because mainstream media alone is no longer the fourth estate. Yeah? The fourth estate also includes social media. So people in social media, we have to play our role. Yeah? We have to play our role in advancing the welfare of the whole human race. Advancing what is supposed to happen. Yeah? And to share with the people, because we can't just believe, say, everybody who we hear in the space out there, they are credible. Some of them, they are not credible. And because they are not credible, they spew lies to our people. Spew lies. And when they spew these lies, people get confused. So, me know say the truth is, data is what drives all of this. Data. Hold on. Let's do it this way. Data is what drives it.
Continue to top up the screen and
And
TikTok,
some
please.
people are talking from the seat of their pants. And some people are living in an illusion. They don't realize that there are people who will deceive you. People who will deceive you. And people who you don't want them to deceive you. I understand what I say. People you don't want them to deceive you. I don't like them not deceive you, but because you don't want them to deceive you, you tell yourself that they are not deceiving you. When they are indeed deceiving you. So that's a big part of the problem. And hold on, my brethren. And it has led to a lot of fallout and a lot of people behave like people that disrespect them. Rally morning.
Morning,
I
sir.
definitely
How are you,
will
my brother?
eat
I'm good, I'm good, I'm good.
Beautiful and wonderful. God has been good.
Yeah, man.
Welcome to
right,
Portland
you know,
Spice
you're
TV,
right.
Ralston.
Blessed,
And
blessed.
I just want to say thanks to the man for allowing us on this platform to have access to your wealth of knowledge and your analysis of the Jamaican economy and where we are as a people, what is happening to our nation. We thank you, sir.
Man.
And may I also tell some people, say, I follow you from the days when PNP was in power in the 90s. And you are not behaving any different now than you behaved back then. You are simply giving us your analysis of the data. That's one aspect. But you're also giving us the information that the data provides.
Correct.
And therefore, there's no going around it. So, I could get in it, Rally.
Start right in. What I hear?
Said in my preamble that Jamaica's economy is in real trouble. What say you?
Yeah, man. We have a crisis right now. So, for example, for the first 6 months of this year, the economy only grew by 0.8%. For the quarter ended June, 0.1%. This is coming after 10 consecutive quarters of deceleration in the rate of economic recovery, according to Statin. Both the BOJ and the PIOJ are projecting that the economy will decline by 1.5% by the end of this fiscal year. The first time in a long time. The country's infrastructure, everybody can see, is in a total state of devastation that even Darrell Vaz, the Minister of Transport, has been calling upon the Prime Minister to use emergency procurement to fix the country's roads because of the devastating state of the country's roads. We see the tourism sector is imploded. It flatlined during the second quarter because of the U.S. travel advisories issued by the U.S. State Department. And now we see the domestic issues of the poor treatment and poor pay received by the workers causing all of these industrial unrest. We see the remittance flows shrinking up to October, and we see the trade deficit widening. Merchandise exports dipped for 6 consecutive months. So we're in an economic crisis in Jamaica at this particular point in time, at a time where the external economy is going to also get worse. Yeah? So that's the situation. We see the central bank now saying that it is going to, and it is right in this regard, reduce interest rates more slowly, because the Federal Reserve said they will also go more slowly because Trump's policies are going to inflate the American economy. So we are in a very bad shape.
Ralston, I want you to explain to my listeners the importance of the growth of the economy of the country, what that means. Because sometimes I believe some people don't understand the fact that the economy is decelerating, it's slowing down, and the fact that it's not growing. What that mean?
Means just like a household, we can't afford the basic social services, we can't fix our roads, we can't pay our teachers properly, we can't build new schools, more people get poor. Poverty now, up in 2022, was 16.7% nationally and 22% in the rural areas. So if you're not growing, you're going to get poorer, and the conditions in the country are going to be like Arms House. We see now, Arms House Road, Arms House hospitals, you can't get no hospital beds. Yeah, the courthouse is run down, everything that's run down. That's poverty.
But what do you say then, Ralston, when there are some people, they talk about the macroeconomic is stable and the debt is reducing and the debt to GDP is at 70%, never at this low, many decades. What that mean?
All right, let's start with the debt to GDP. That's not true. The debt to GDP was 60% when Michael Mann left office in 1980. Then it jumped to 212% in 1984 under Mr. Siaga. And in 1990, when he left office, it was 236%. When, despite them talk all about FinSAC, when Omar Davies left office, the debt to GDP was 115%.
Yeah, and then Hardly Shaw, the JLP administration carried to 147%. Peter Phillips brought it down to 120%. Then in 2017, they amended the public debt law and took out the Bank of Jamaica debt and brought it down to 80%. And then we crawled down to the current 70% where we are now.
So, Ralston, the issue that we looking at is one that is confusing to a lot of people.
All right, I could clarify it.
Hold on. It's confusing. I want to tell you something. Do you know, I don't, well, maybe you do, but my listeners, in 2016 in Jamaica, a pound of chicken, best dress or CB chicken, was on average $100 per pound. Were you aware of that, Ralston?
Well, a lot of people don't know. When Peter Phillips left office, inflation was 3.7%. Although inflation fell in October, it is still 4.9%.
But hold on, let me tell you where a pound of chicken there right now. A pound of chicken on average is at $390 per pound.
That is why I'm making the point. So inflation, which measures the average price increase, is higher now than when Peter Phillips left office, of course.
And to those on TikTok, we're listening to
the minimum wage in 2016 was 6,200. It is now 15,000. So hear this, Ralston. The minimum wage has increased by approximately 150%. But a pound of chicken has increased by 300%.
Yeah, which means that people are getting poorer and poorer and they can buy less chicken now. That is why I see the people on the road talking about these things. Yes, you're correct.
So tell me now, why is it somebody's going around or some people going around and saying that Jamaican economic is in a good place and good economic can yam?
Well, that was deception, man. Yeah, man. But we have to look at the figures. I mean, the figures that we look at. And when the Prime Minister said that, we're not talking about somebody. That's what the Prime Minister is saying. And I'm saying he's talking nonsense because when he said them things, them don't give the numbers. We have the numbers, and it's the numbers that he used to measure performance. The dollar was 121 in 2016. It is now $159.30 yesterday. So look at cheap political talk. Them things can't work. We have to refer to the figures. Yeah.
So the figures, Ralston, you spoke about what? 10 quarters of deceleration?
Deceleration, the rate of economic recovery, yeah. To reach 0.1% now. So the economy is at stall speed right now.
Stall.
And then both Mr. Biles and Wayne Henry said we'll go over the cliff by 1.5%. These are supposed to be independent people. So it's not PNP people. Mr. Biles, the governor of the Bank of Jamaica, and Wayne Henry, the director general of the planning suite of Jamaica. So we're going to tip over by 1.5% this year.
Hold on, meaning that we're not going to have no growth, we're going to have minus growth?
The economy has a decline.
What does that mean for the average man, Ralston?
Get poorer.
Means that he need more money to buy a pound of chicken.
Yeah, man. And him never find the money.
And him pay going to remain the same.
Yeah, man. And he have to look out for criminal, he have to look out for everybody because everybody get poorer, everybody are hustling. Survival will become the key, so you have to have more violence, more robbery, more everything.
Jamaica, are you really hearing that there is serious economic turmoil ahead? What we are facing now will get worse down the road, and that is to how Andrew Holness and Nigel Clark has run our economy into the ground with continuous lies and promises. Are you aware of the seriousness of this conversation? If we think say hard life for me to know, did I not tell you all that this is why Nigel Clark gets the job at the IMF because Jamaica was Nigel Clark training ground how to fuck up an economy. They're going to pardon on Sunday morning, but it must be said. Jamaica was Nigel Clark's training ground. You see Nigel Clark flutter off? You see Nigel Clark flutter off and left Bolt and the rest of country in depression? It's going to get worse. This is just the start of what's to come.
And that is going to be worse if Mr. Trump deports some people back to Jamaica. That is going to create even a bigger problem.
Me not even want to go there so yet, Rally. I do even want to go there so yet, I swear to you. Because let's just stay home and look at what is happening in Jamaica. Because people are saying that we are speaking doom and gloom over the country. And it is
which means that Mr. Biles and Mr. Wayne will be saying, Dr. Wayne will be speaking doom and gloom too, because they are the ones who are putting out the figures.
So you are saying Mr. Biles, the head of the Bank of Jamaica, is saying that Jamaica is crashing, or Jamaica crash. Which one?
Well, decline by 1.5% by the end of this fiscal year. Mr. Wayne and
Wes, can you put the link to the ebook in the chat, please, so I can pin it in the top of the chat so people can hit the link and have a read of the book. Put the link of the book in the top of the chat, please, and I'll pin it for you.
So this now is going contrary to what the GLP had promised, 5% growth in 4 years.
When they take over the economy, was so good that them say after 5 years, after 4 years, they grow by 5% every year after that.
And
that was Mr. Nigel Clark, Mr. Michael Leachin, and the Prime Minister. The picture is still there for people can go and research the picture.
So they said that after 4 years, they'll
grow by 5% every year after that.
What has the growth rate been after that speech, Ralston? Can you break it down for us?
We are now down to 0.1% after 8 years.
So at what stage did we reach that 5%?
5%?
Yeah, then man, no say them all grow at 5%. At what stage did we get there?
I'm just telling you, we're now at 0.1 after 8 years.
Hold on. So we didn't get to 5% at no time. That's what you're saying?
Never, ever.
Did we get to 4%?
No.
Did we get to 3%?
No. The last time we get to 3% was on the Omar days who them cost every day.
Did we get to 2%?
No.
Did we get to
1.9?
1.9?
1.5 and 0.6 and them kind of things.
So we never got to 2% out of the promised 5?
No, Nigel Clark's growth.
You must be a crazy man.
Nigel Clark's growth record was extremely poor. What he did was to try to confuse recovery with economic growth.
Ralston, we have to stop you, man. So on what data is Dr. Clark even a good finance minister? On what data? Find some data, make him good for me, Ralston.
In my opinion, it was a massive and monumental socio-economic disaster. Because even when you look at the debt to 70%, as I told you before, the big one was Petrocarib, which brought us down to 120, and then what they did after that was to cancel the Bank of Jamaica debt.
So
to bring it down to about 80.
So hold on there. So you are saying even the debt to GDP that went down, you're not giving that to Nigel Clark?
No.
When the PNP, hold on, Ralston. When the PNP leave office 2016, the debt to GDP, and I have it right here saying Ralston, on screen, may have it, the debt to GDP was 113.
Yeah, man,
115%. But it's at 70% now. What you mean, I know Dr. Clark do that?
I'm saying to you, they carried it from when they left the Bank of Jamaica debt. The Bank of Jamaica under Section 9 of the Bank of Jamaica Act. The government of Jamaica normally assumes the debt built up by the Bank of Jamaica. What they did is just use a pen and cancel all of that.
I said them not take that debt no more.
Yeah, it was known as the Public Debt Amendment Act of 2017. Anybody can go there and computer and type it up.
And that's what percentage? That was what
Amendment
percentage?
Act
That
2017.
That dropped off about 30%, 40% off of the debt.
So that alone carried down to about 80%.
About 80%, as I told you before.
So it was, and then you are saying that Petro carry, but the Petro carry part was under the PNP.
Yeah, man.
And that helped bring down the debt.
Yeah.
And save Jamaica a lot in the meltdown.
Yeah, man.
So hold on now, man. So what is it? What is the data? And maybe we need to get help elsewhere to find the data that makes Dr. Nigel Clark the best finance minister.
The data is a media and private sector creation. What makes him the greatest in terms of the private sector and the media is that him run these high primary surpluses and make sure the bank man them get their money, while at the same time running down the country's infrastructure. He was an unmitigated social and economic disaster. All these infrastructure programs that the Prime Minister is blaming on the next government is Nigel Clark.
So Nigel Clark is PNPism?
Yep. Mash up the country's infrastructure.
Ralston, did this administration
pay
the bank at any time?
Right now, them still at it. If you look at the latest, and all of them psychophants can check this. If you go up on the Ministry of Finance, they can tell them no. Go to them computer, type in mof.ja.com, and you'll see the Ministry of Finance come up. Then you go on fiscal operations, and then you tell you the month, and when you click on the month, you will see that between April and September, the primary surplus, that's the amount of money that is accumulated to service the debt, was running at 30.
Here, people, may I bring a brilliant piece of interview tone where whole heap of we don't understand. Me not know say me drop out of school, a basic school. Me can't count marble. So me not understand the whole economic argument. That's why me have to depend on people like Colin Bell and Ralston Hyman who understand it. And Ungo 76 I no hit the like button. I saw not turn bad. I don't know super chat me. I don't know super sticker me. I saw not turn bad. A Sunday morning, when I got church, go give all the money to the thief in pastor. I don't can't hit the like button. Why not turn bad? Wanna turn really, really, really bad.
36.17 billion when the amount needed was only $16 billion. And they cut the capital budget by $4 billion from 29 to 25.
So you're saying that the payment for the bank for the month is
for the period from April to September.
For the quarter from April to September, you needed to pay the bank, let's say
16.85 billion.
Let's say 17 billion for ease of understanding. You should pay the bank 17 billion. But you are saying that they paid 34 billion?
36.17 billion.
36. So they paid the loan up
100% more than necessary.
How much of that went to the principal of the loan?
Well, they don't have that breakdown.
They don't have that breakdown.
Yeah, they don't break it down in that detail.
But they are paying, instead of paying 17 million and use the other 19 million.
Billion.
My apologies. When we're talking about the government people, million is no more, it's billion and trillion. So sorry about that. $19 billion more.
Yeah, man.
The holes in the budget and the money that they need to find. So they could have used that 19 billion. Couldn't they?
Of course. I'll fix the road and all of them something.
So why they have not been doing that, Ralston?
That is something that he consistently does, and that is why I was always telling the people that he was not working for the people of Jamaica. He was working for the international agencies. So it wasn't a surprise to me when the international agencies called him, because he was always working for them.
So the good that will come out of paying the debt early, because some people believe it's a brilliant
Up
idea.
the screen,
Pay off your
TikTok,
debt.
up the screen.
And we're coming and we're going to come to the paying off the debt. If the debt, we're going to look and see if the debt is being paid off, you know, people. So hold on, we are simplify the thing. So you are saying that what Nigel Clark did not benefit me and you and the average man in Jamaica, the man on the street, the man where I work at the hotel, the man where I drive the bus, I work the fireman, the police. What he did not benefit them.
No, it benefit the big bankers, and that's why they were always supporting him, and because that they use them power within the media to market him as the best finance minister.
You see the same thing that you're hearing. How Mr. Siaga, as Minister of Finance, work for the bank them and shake up Jamaica and collapse the economy. Aren't you hearing the same thing again? Make sure it's on a subscribe to Portland TV, you know, because brilliance over there every Saturday morning. Aren't you hearing the same thing that Andrew Holness and Nigel Clark has done to the Jamaican economy, Jamaican TV? And now it'll go even get worse with the dead eye fish way over there. Let's continue to listen. Cause worse ahead, Jamaica, it's only going to get worse. You think the hotel worker them start demonstrate yet? You think the whole of Jamaica take to the road yet?
All right, let's look at a marketing thing. Let's look at the debt, Ralston. In 2016, how much money did Jamaica owe?
$2 trillion.
$2 trillion was the debt. That is the money where Jamaica owe the IMF, the banks in Jamaica, the people who buy government paper. The government owed $2 trillion. What is the present debt of the Jamaican people right now?
$2.3 trillion. He's borrowing $260 billion this year alone.
So how they said to us, Ralston, that we're paying down the debt and we're
No,
not
they're not
borrowing?
paying down. They are servicing the debt.
So why we don't hear these things? Why these things are hidden from the people? Them tell we Ralston said we are paying down the debt. Paying down the debt to me, tell me if me an idiot, because paying down the debt to me means that I am owing less. If me did owe you $3 trillion today, and me pay down the debt, we must owe less than $3 trillion.
No, well, they're not paying down the debt because every time them service it, them borrow more. Last year, they borrowed $139 billion. This year, they're borrowing almost 2 times that. They're borrowing $260 billion this year.
So, hold on, you know. But they say we're not borrowing, Ralston.
Come on, man.
Ralston, when me I repeat this, what the man them have said publicly, you know. We're not borrowing.
And next thing what the people them can do, the sycophants them can go on the Bank of Jamaica website on any given day and click on, you'll see a thing named notices come up. Click on it and then you'll see the government borrowing activity. Up to Wednesday, the government floated a 7% fixed rate CD.
Yes.
For 52 billion. And they got 61 billion instead.
They get people buy up government paper.
Yeah, they have to get 7% on the paper.
But when the Prime Minister said recently about government paper.
Prime Minister confused, man. Desperate and chat there rubbish. Yeah, we're confused.
Why are we not seeing these things balancing out there, Ralston? People showing why nobody fact check the Prime Minister?
Well, I'm here fact checking him because I follow all of the numbers. And I know where to find everything.
All right. So you are saying to us, Ralston, that Prime Minister Andrew Holness is deceiving the people of Jamaica?
Yeah, man. Maybe you don't know better. Maybe you don't know about finance either. So all of that.
Ralston, I said it to you yesterday morning. And I want to say it here so for all my people them know. The government of Jamaica just squandered another $11.4 billion. Now, let me say this to people because I'm a member of the People's National Party. I am the Deputy Shadow Minister of Culture and the Creative Industry. This is not the PNP speaking. This is Colin Bell speaking. The government of Jamaica just squandered $11.4 billion because people get them $20,000. I mean, I see nobody yet where I jump where get it. We know people where get it, Ralston. I mean, I see nobody where I say hippie hooray. Because $20,000 to an individual who have a job and a work can stop a gap, but it's not the end all.
Yeah, but
why didn't the government use that 20 billion, the 11.4 billion, sorry, 11.4 billion? Why the government didn't use that to pump into agriculture? Give it as an agricultural loan at 1 or 2% to our farmers. How far that could have pushed agricultural stand?
Yeah, man, that would be a more productive use of the country's resources that would lead to faster economic growth, reduce the level of crime in the rural areas, and reduce the pressure on the exchange rate. The food import bill was like $963 million for the first 6 months of this year.
963 million US.
Yeah, man. Again, for the skeptics and the psychophone, you can go up on Statin website.
Yeah.
And click on the website and you see international trade data come up. So I tell them which part them can find everything for themselves. Them not
yes, but prove it. Because when I bring Ralston Hyman on this program, we're not talking from gut feelings. We're putting the data that is provided by the government.
Yeah, man.
I know the government provide them data, yeah.
Yeah, man. All those are government agencies. So the Prime Minister said things that are contrary to what the agencies are saying. So don't listen to him. Go to the agencies if you want the truth.
But how this is allowed, though, Ralston, for the Prime Minister to be bamboozling the people of Jamaica?
Well, maybe because the people who are supposed to be fact-checking and not doing their work properly. But I try to do a proper job. I fact-check every Prime Minister, every Finance Minister. So Omar Davies and I used to have the same problems. So when them come down and make it look like, say, it's a PNP thing. No.
Let's go back to that, Ralston. You used to challenge Omar Davies. What was the problem you were having then with the running of the economy? Because what people don't understand in Ralston, and the people we have problem with it is the running and the management of the country.
Correct.
Because if this country not managed properly, we have problem all the way. Go ahead.
Yeah. So you're the problems I had with Omar as a man who teach me. Yeah.
Omar taught you.
Yeah.
All right. Talk to me.
All right. Is that, and him admit it now, that him run their interest rate regime for too long. A lot of people never know that when the economy was liberalized, Omar Davies was the finance minister at the time. Omar Davies was teaching in the Department of Economics at the University of the West Indies.
Talk to me.
Omar Davies became finance minister in 1992 after the liberalization took place in September of 1990. So by the time Omar Davies became finance minister, inflation was running at 80%. The net international reserves were minus $500 million. So that's a problem he had to deal with. So income and build the reserves from minus 500 to 2.4 billion. Mistake that he makes is to keep their interest rate regime too long. When he come, the banking regulations were very poor. He had to upgrade all of the banking regulations. There was no FSC to manage the non-deposit taking institutions. There was no Jamaica Deposit Insurance Corporation. He have to put in all of them something there.
Yeah. So you had to build a system.
Thanks, J. Ross.
Because we had no system, because Mr. Seaga's system was bogus.
Oh, wow.
We thought that's straight. Experience what I thought from.
So, you and Omar, you say Omar taught you. What was the relationship like back then, Ralston, with Omar Davies?
One thing with Omar Davies, as a finance minister and as an analyst, him not carrying no grudges. So even if you criticize him not carrying no grudges. Like comes to someone I go on now, yep.
So you and him, even back then, still had a good relationship?
Yeah, man. Even right now.
Where were you when Edward...
So what Ralston Hyman is saying, Omar Davies is not the one to have red blood in him face when you criticize him like Andrew Holness, you would see and hear the anger. When Andrew Holness speak to the nation, there is a level of anger and frustration that comes from the Prime Minister. Because what the Prime Minister did not want, real sweet, is for us to know that he's lying. And the fact that the Prime Minister, everybody know as the Prime Minister open his mouth, straight away we know the Prime Minister is lying. The Prime Minister has been very disgruntled because of that. This is what Ralston Hyman is talking about. Those politicians, look on PJ, Almighty Peace, Jamaica hold PJ and drag him to no ends of the earth. You've never seen PJ get angry speaking to the media, or you never see PJ stand at the dispatch box in our parliament and get as angry and as frustrated as Andrew Holness has displayed in front of us many times. Many times. But let's continue, because this is an excellent piece of interview.
Siaga was Minister of Finance.
I was the financial editor of the Jamaica Record. I am the longest serving financial editor in the entire Jamaica. The most experienced analyst in the entire Jamaica.
So
at that time, Dr. Hedley Brown was central bank governor.
Okay. And back then, would you say the media was more on the ball?
Yeah, man. I had more experienced journalists. Yeah, man.
So
man like Project the Freitas, man like Moses Jackson.
And
yeah, man.
And hold on, we have to say condolences to oh God, this brother you passed on this morning yesterday.
Who that?
This media man, yeah, man. Oh God, I was looking at it this morning. Oh wow. Top media guru, the man from long time. I can see if I find it back. Yeah, man. Oh Lord, his name just asleep now. I don't know why.
Okay.
Name asleep, but he passed on yesterday.
Yeah, so we had man like Project, we had man like Desmond Richard, Franklin McKnight, Moses Jackson.
Are you here?
You follow me?
But Franklin McKnight is still around.
Yeah, man. At the University of West Indies Department of Economics, you had man like Omar, you had man like Mike Witter, Clearman Curtin, Professor Norman Gervan, Al Francis, Dylan Allen, them kind of man there were. The university at that time played a critical role in discussing macroeconomic policies. They're like the nonsense that take place now.
Nobody in business.
Yep.
Let's come back to now, Ralston. Because if the economy is as bad as you say, and Nigel Clark was as bad as you say, welcome, Honorable Favour Williams. What say you?
Well,
she has gone she has gone a couple of days in office. Give me your assessment.
All right, so the Honorable, even prior to that, the Honorable Favour Williams is somebody who I know personally. Right? A good personal relationship. But the point is that the Honorable Favour Williams was against the Petrocarib deal, one of the biggest deals that we have ever done. And the people, again, the sycophants, them can type in on them phone conversations between Ralston Hyman and Favour Williams, because I was not a principal architect with Dr. Peter Phillips in terms of Petrocarib. She, Arbin Hill, and Adi Manayad Shah opposed Petrocarib. That's one. So that's a part of our credibility deficit. Additionally, when I told them that the 1.5 would cost 32 billion, she, Arbin Hill, told the country it would cost 0 billion. Then they moved to 9 billion. Then they moved to 12 billion. Then they moved to 20 billion. Yep. So to me, so that in the back, there's a credibility deficit there. Since she came in.
Why you say credibility? What if she never knew? No, Ralston, come on. What if she never knew? Where you said that worse?
Of course. Of course. Of course. Something can be so important to the macro economy, and you're a top lieutenant of the opposing party to run the country, and then you don't know about those things.
But Ralston, haven't you seen a lot of incompetence in this administration?
Of course.
So you can't put it past.
Of course, and then
why would somebody do something that would hurt the country as a politician? I don't believe any politician would intentionally do something to hurt the country.
Cheap politics, let me just win the election, and that was the only thing that could have come.
Well, win the election and fix whatever come after. Isn't that one of the motto of some politicians?
Yeah, man. That is what they need.
So, outside of our credibility, Ralston, she has been in the office for a couple of days. What have you seen so far? Give us
again, I'm telling you that the credibility gap continues, because I was even dictating the release to her that should have written over the radar. So the first thing she did when she came in is to try and dispute what happened over the last 10 years in terms of the debt to GDP and bringing back Jamaica in the international capital market. Try to erase what Peter Phillips did and try to confuse the people. Now, that is a well-known story internationally. So if I were her, when I came in, I have said, boy, the economy is now flatlining, and my priority is to change direction and to accelerate economic growth.
Right.
As a result of that, I'm going...
Oh no, Ralston. If you listen carefully to the Prime Minister, when the Prime Minister minted favor, it wasn't about the economy. It was about being a disciple for the Prime Minister. Favor was not minted to take a good hold on the economy. The reason the Prime Minister minted favor, because favor would be disciplish to the disastrous direction that the Prime Minister and Nigel Clark has taken the economy and where they further plan to take it.
To be meeting with the president of the Bankers Association to try and get her to understand that they need to reduce the lending rates in conjunction with what the Bank of Jamaica did, so that we can get the economy going again, because we are in a bad state. That's the kind of statement that I expected her to issue, rather than coming to try and challenge what took place and what Peter and Portia did over the last 10 years. Cheap politicking. Then on Sunday, she wrote an article when she said that Jamaica's capital budget has tripled from 42 billion to 80 billion. Bad start.
What is wrong with that argument from
Hey,
what was that again? Give me that again.
Tripled from 42 to 80.
Tripled?
Yeah, man.
From 42 billion to 80 billion. But if it tripled, it must be 120 billion.
Ah, you get the point.
Fuzzy math?
Right. You get the point.
Fuzzy math?
That's the newly minted favor.
So, as it relates to the constraints that we see ahead, our infrastructure is in a deplorable condition. The Prime Minister on Tuesday announced a $1.3 billion road maintenance fund. Adequate?
No, man, that can't do nothing, man. That's joke business.
But that can't rehabilitate one road anywhere.
No, that's a joke business, man. Let's say a joking, man.
How, though, do you say that the country is doing well, have so much money, and you can't really get out there and address the problems that confronts us?
Because it's not true. The country is bankrupt.
So
and next administration, whether it is theirs or the other one, is going to have a hard time preparing a budget without an increase in borrowing. So the stupidity of Nigel Clark saying that he's paying down the debt and servicing the debt before time, crash everything so that the economy can grow, so you can generate the revenues that are needed. So you have to turn around and sell 12 years receivables, squander part of it from vote buying consumption, and then the whole place mash up, and all fix it back. You have to borrow more money. Because you can't come with a tax package and you can't cut spending.
What is Jamaica's fiscal position right now, Ralston?
The fiscal deficit is $58 billion.
58 billion. So we need 58 billion. We need $58 billion more For balance.
Yeah, man, they spend 58 million more than program forward in the period April to September.
So wouldn't that run us into debt?
Of course, that is an addition to the debt. That's the point I'm making to you. If you spend more than you earn, you must have to borrow.
How is the budget? Well, we did a supplementary budget the other day. Is it running in accordance? Well, that's a stupid question because
we have the new budget now.
Right. No, but you just said we're still in a deficit, so that means the budget now operate, the figures now stay as they are too.
No. So why think you might have to sell the 12 years receivables? They don't have no money.
The country don't have no money.
Yeah.
Why are we not paying the contractors?
Because they don't have the money.
You know, sometimes, Ralston, I understand when people think that we are preaching doom and gloom, because this is 180 degrees.
But these are facts.
From what the government is saying.
Yes,
we
so what the people must
on
do.
the other side.
Yes. So what the people must do, because all of this information is on the website of the Ministry of Finance, the Planning Institute of Jamaica, the Statistical Institute of Jamaica, and the Bank of Jamaica. Those are the four agencies that deal with the country's money and the economy. So everybody can check it for themselves. The reason why I know because I check them things every day. I do that for 36 years. Whoever is the finance minister.
So next year budget, Ralston. What next year budget going to look like with all of what you are saying now? Because that means pure trouble there, so. And that's why me tell a guy say Jamaica economy in problem.
Yeah, man. Of course, it's pure trouble. We have to borrow more money or cut spending or increase taxes. Or any government do that line of trouble. The people are up on the street.
So how next year budget will look?
That's the point I'm making to you. They have to go borrow more money because the other two options are out. The people are going to take the street if they go for the other two options.
So we have to go borrow more money.
Spending or raise taxes.
And how we going to pay about that more money where we have borrowed? Because
that is going to be a big problem. So you have to find a way to use the money to accelerate growth. So all these fools spending more 11.4 billion for vote buying, as you say, that should go in agriculture. XX primary surplus, them should use that and fix the road, in particular the rural road network, train the river, them train the gully, and make the country more resilient. So when the rain them come, we don't have the kind of damage that we have.
So what the meaning of this tax give back? $20,000. Because you say it's vote buying, Ralston, but let's look at it. Me know people will get that $20,000 there where come hell or high water would never vote GLP.
Well, the assumption is that some of those people are going to vote for them. Remember, them said 580,000 people are benefit. So the assumption is that some are going to vote for us.
Yes.
Simple.
Some will vote for them.
Yeah, man.
But when you squander that money, because it hurt me, no, Ralston, me not tell a man no lie, you know.
Yeah, man.
When me see the government do with that $11.4 billion, hurt me to my core till me said to my accountant and say apply for my 20. Because me earn less than $3 million a year.
Yeah, man.
So me tell my accountant apply for my 20. When I tell me say me need or take it.
All right, so tell me something now. You believe that the job of a finance minister is to allocate resources in a productive way. You believe a great finance minister would allocate resources like that. That's just a straight political thing.
Ralston, I don't even see it as political. I see it as madness, downright dumb.
All right, so using your terminology, you believe a great finance minister would do something like that?
Oh, you can't do that in a time like this. Oh, you're going to do that. Oh, when you have an agriculture sector that is in tatters and you...
Now, if you want to listen to the rest of that debate, which is coming to an end, but it goes on to the entertainment sector with regards to this other conundrum of political play from Babsy to garner support from the entertainment sector. But in the top of the chat, The link is pinned to the Easy Jerk World YouTube channel. Give him some strength by subscribing. You have heard this conversation with Colin Bell and Ralston Hyman. I cannot break it down further to you if you don't understand it. If you need to re-listen to this interview, you know where to go to. Sportland Spice TV. It was the interview that was done yesterday. But are you aware of the amount of lies we have been told? Even when him white friend them in a London and in a Miami is propping him up in international papers to say how brilliant Dr. Clark is. Even when the Jamaica media, everybody had tell the lie how good the economy is. I hope you write down these places that Ralston tell you to go and find certain information. And if you didn't write them down, make sure you go back and listen to that live on Portland Spice TV and make sure you do your research. The country is in economic crisis. More high prices at the petrol pumps, more high prices in the supermarkets, more high prices in the market, more borrowing by government. Generations of generations down the line is stricken by debt that this government and others have borrowed and have done nothing with it to drive productivity in our country. Therefore, just like the salary, we live hand to mouth from our salary. As our country I live, hand to mouth, bara beg. But we have the best economic finance minister that was ushered off to the IMF to F up more countries. This is the world we're living in, you know. This is the world we're living in, where them practice danger on us, whether it be the Tuskegee experiment, the pandemic just recently experiment, whatever experiment Debbie Jervis Wagwan, Jennifer Haven, whatsoever experiments we've been guinea pigged, whether it be our economy, whether it be on the socio-economic front, whether it be in health, whether it be in education, we've been guinea pigged for 500 fucking years. Beg your pardon. 500 years. All sorts of research is being conducted on us. Jamaicans, when are we going to wake up? When are we going to have the pride of the indigenous New Zealanders? When are we going to have pride? When are we going to start waking up like young people in Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Botswana, where Toure country is again, Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, Jamaica? You were one. You were one, Jamaica, that many people took experience from in the fight against colonialism, oppression, and white imperialism. The Mahatma Gandhi that you heard about is a Garveyite. You look across post-colonial Africa, Jamaica was somewhere that they looked to for that stand against oppression. Because even though Haiti did it before us, 100 a year before us, but that's what we were recognized for, the rebellion within us. The young New Zealand warrior made it known in Parliament over the weekend. We are in defiance of the British colonial state, because we are still, this is our very problem. We are still in a British colonial state run by their CIA employee henchmen. When will we get to this level of rebellion? More hunger coming to Jamaica. The salary where the Prime Minister boasts about, we soon start nyam grass. You hear the Prime Minister tell we say, good economic management can nyam, a grass we soon start nyam. Because no plant, you know. Even when we keep warning you, Uno will have style to plant something. Plant, because danger is ahead. Danger is ahead, Jamaica. And no, not take heed. What you're all waiting for is to when it fall down and collapse down. But we can do something to cushion the blow that is coming, because you see, when the People's National Party come, they are the ones that will be likely to suffer the blowback from the people, because by the time they come in, the economy will be flattened, the purse will be emptied, and them have to go borrow more money, put the country in a more debt and a longer turnaround of the economy. Jamaica, if you don't understand what you hear, you need to employ an economic advisor, or you go back onto Colin Bell, Port and Spice TV, and watch it from 4 to 10 times, and you may get it more than how you get it the first time. But Jamaica is in turmoil. You don't see nothing yet.
The House is suspended until the ringing of the bells. The gallery is to be cleared.
Will we ever get to the state of defiance? What are we waiting for? As Marcus Garvey said, we're not going to know ourselves until we're back. It's pretty much up against the wall. Jamaica, are you not feeling the wall behind you? And I'm sure, Jamaica, if you look ahead of you, you're looking at a rock. A rock and a hard place, Jamaica, is where the Andrew Holness regime has taken us. It's time for us to become defiant. It is time for us to push back against this government. We cannot allow our country to go into the financial collapse that the Siaga regime has taken us into. Wake up, Jamaica. We're not asking you to wake up for no reason. We're asking you to wake up because we saw and see and we know what is ahead. We know how treacherous and dangerous it's going to be. Wake up. You all criticize Cuba and Haiti. The road to democracy, it is the very same road to tyranny. Thank you very much for being here with us on a Sunday morning. Sorry if me spoil on a porridge, but I think that was a piece of information. Kathy, how are you? Kathy and Debbie would have to go watch over. Christine Gilbert, how are you? A bit kind of turn up late, but thank you very much for being here as always. And remember, the Easy Jerk World YouTube channel is pinned in the top of the chat. So make sure you subscribe and give your support. And make sure, remember, go over to Portland Spice TV and watch that interview that was done yesterday with Colin Bell and Ralston Hyman. If you are not aware of the state of the Jamaican economy, thank you, Pauline Dixon. If you swallow the argument hook, line, and sinker from the Prime Minister and from Nigel Clark and his newly minted flamingo Favour Williams, how great of an economy we have, how they told us off the burial, Jamaica, we have done it. We have done it, Jamaica. First time we have a national disaster and we have not to borrow any money straight into our pocket. But where is the money though, Prime Minister and Finance Minister? The billions and millions that we saw you collected after burial, where is the money? The billions and millions you collected during COVID, where is the money? The people has not had a share of it, have they, Gloria Morris? The people has not have a share of it. We see the Prime Minister keep promising us billions and billions to do this spark, spare, and share, reach. You soon have one name teacher and talk to because you just make up things. And this is why you're so angry, because your lies are not being swallowed or bought anymore, Prime Minister. You don't have to even open your mouth so we know say a lie. We just have to see you on camera and we say, oh well, another lie. Jamaica, we cannot continue in this direction. It's a dooms and gloom direction, Jamaica. I don't know if you understand the seriousness of the interview you heard with Colin Bell and Ralston Hyman. Numbers, they say, don't lie. When I know some drop out of basic school, so number confuse me and make me become dizzy and loopy anytime I see number. That's why I'm telling you to take out on a pen and paper and write. And if you miss the figures, if you miss the places where Ralston Hyman asks you to go and read information, go back and watch again. And make sure you note down the figures. You note down all the places that Ralston Hyman asks you to go and get information. Jamaica, shit is literally about to go down. When you hear Trump talk about shithole country, that is what Andrew Holness and Nigel Clark has done to Jamaica. You think about one them left in a depression is the entire country. Bolt is not the only one or the other investors of SSL. Them left with them hand of them jaw. The entire country. Because petrol price and food price and your bills is about to get higher. And you won't be able to afford it because the 15,000 what they say you forget a week time will not be able to buy lunch money and pay a bus fare to go back to work. Jamaica, it's getting to a time where it's do or die. Do we sit down and roll over? Or do we stand up and take our country back? It's our choice, you know. It is our choice. And thanks to all my supporters, thanks to all my membership. For those of you who did receive that email, they may have sent you back another one that my monetization is being reinstated, and you can see that from the super chat as well. All the YouTube channels are monetized. Is just a correction needed to be done on Global TV Studio before things get back to normal on that with the monetization. GTV Group is also monetized, but it's not monetized for ads at the moment, but it can do super chat, membership, and all that. So we are doing a mickle to muckling across the brand. It is because of your support why we continue to grow, even though sometimes I have to all on one tone up against wall for the bit of likes and shares. But no doubt, you're all turned up whenever time you hear ping. So thank you all very much for your support. I don't think we're going to come on tonight unless, because I was meant to come on last night, you know, because after that brilliant show yesterday, I said, no, I have to go do a blowback on this interview. But I said, all right, let me leave it for tomorrow morning. So I'm not sure if I'm coming back tonight if anything important doesn't crop up in the country. But if not, certainly join us tomorrow morning for the At a Glance program. Thank you all very much. Continue to support. And if you don't catch the live, there's also a button below when you're watching that says thanks. And there you can donate by your super thanks also. It's the same settings as super sticker and super chat, but that's just for the after live. So thank you. And enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And good afternoon, good morning from the Global Television Group.
I truly believe our political system needs some fixing. Too much you hear about corrupt politicians and nothing happen. Too much you hear about politicians who take away poor people money and none of them reach in jail. And to the young people at home or wherever you are, and to all Jamaicans, I have one question for you. Take a look at your communities. Take a look at the sliding dollar. Take a look at the failing healthcare and ask yourselves, where is the progress? Where is the progress that this arrogant and disrespectful government keeps talking about? With this existing callous government, matters have gone from bad to worse.